Final strains of the national anthem here at Neil Wilson Jaguars Stadium as we're ready for Carroll Dragon football tonight. The Dragons at 2-1, taking on Flower Mound at 1-2 to open District 5-6A play. Happy to have you with us. It's the first district game, big one with Trinity coming next week at home. But first, business for the Dragons here on the road. It's time to meet the officials for tonight's game. They are out of the Fort Worth chapter.
Frank Wilcox, referee, Bedford.
Chris Glover, umpire, Dallas.
Scott Huffman, headlines, Stephenville.
Kyle Vorpahl, line judge, Fort Worth.
James Wilcox, back judge, Frisco.
Today's game time weather conditions. Currently, the temperature is 90 degrees. It is rather balmy on the outside, but there is a stiff wind blowing out of the south at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, and the Dragons are going to be kicking off with that wind, moving from right to left here in the opening quarter. No chance of rain here tonight, so we'll be able to get this one started as the Dragons and Jaguars ready to get it going. Carroll in the all whites with the green numerals and black trim, white headgear. Flower Mound dressed in the navy with the gray numerals, gray pants, and the navy headgear. Kickoff goes through the back of the end zone off the foot of Cole Ramage, and it will be 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line to start the ball game for the Flower Mound Jaguars. The starting lineups. Captain Jackson Averett, starting quarterback for Flower Mound, 5'11 junior, has run for 5 touchdowns, thrown for 663 yards, thrown for 3 scores on the year. As running back, Ifani Uzowiye. Again, we'll go with the spelling of that in a little bit, but for now, just trust us on it. 5'11", 180, and a senior. He's run for 100 yards per game so far this year, 4 touchdowns. The receiving corps, Zach Welch, Billy Sikora, William Huber, and the A receiver, also a tight end at times, Jack Millers. We'll see how they line up on 1st down and 10. Again, Flower Mound going from left to right, just underway here in the mound. They'll go out of the shotgun formation. They line up a tight end to the left side, start a man in motion from right to left and hand it on the jet sweep. It's Jake Welch, the sophomore, goes around the left end from the 25, gets out to the 29, maybe the 30, give him a gain of 5 yards on the play before Eric Spidler and Barrett Buck combine on the tackle. So again, Zach Welch, Billy Sikora, William Huber, and Jack Miller, the receivers. The offensive line, as we mentioned, Eric Curl, the left tackle, injured out of the game. They moved Cade Cowan, the center, to start at left tackle. Josh Shapley is the left guard. The center is Cade Cumbie. Give you the rest in a moment as a handoff, and it will go to Uzowiye, who gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on 2nd down and 5, so it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up as Miskell and Spidler combining on the stop. So again, it is Cowan, Shapley, Cumbie, who, yes, is the cousin of Sonny Cumbie. David McHale is the right guard. The right tackle is Ryan Linheiser for the Flower Mound Jaguars, who again go from north to south. That is left to right as we look at it here in the first quarter. No score early, just underway. 3rd down and 5 from the Flower Mound 30. Start a man in motion from left to right. Change the formation. That's Miller, so the string to the right. Shotgun snap, rolling to throw. Averett goes out to the 35 to the boundary. It's incomplete as it was intended over there for Billy Sikora, the 5'8 senior who has 14 catches on the year. But Jacob Copeland making his presence felt as he was in on the coverage on that play. Flower Mound will be forced to punt.
Nice way to break the seal. Come in and help this Dragon defense to a 3 and out. On 3rd and 5, Flower Mound motions right to put a lead blocker at the point of attack. They could run behind it or throw behind it, but the pass well defended by Carroll's linebacking core. So again, as mentioned, a 3 and out on the opening possession for Flower Mound. Dragons get the ball.
On 4th and 5 from the 30, Josh Grant standing back at his 20-yard line to punt it. Had heavy pressure, but he gets it away. Look who's back. It's the freshman R.J. Mickens who waves the hand for the fair catch. It's a 35-yard punt, and the Dragons will have it 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Mason Holmes, the starting quarterback, 6'1", 195-pound senior. He has completed 54% of his passes, 772 yards. They'll have Audric Gaines starting the backfield, lines up to his left as he goes a 3-by-1 set, 3 receivers wide to the left and 1 short side to the right. Dragons from their own 35-yard line as they snap to Holmes and a play fake, throws over the middle, pass is caught. Jackson Davis out beyond the 40, gets out to the 44, gain of about 8 yards on the play for Davis's 8th catch of the year. Michael Haney making the tackle for the Jaguars. It is Clayton Keys, Hudson Shrum, Jackson Davis, and Jack Johansson, the receiving corps. Again, Audric Gaines The running back lines up to the left of Mason Holmes, and Holmes sticks it in his belly, and he goes around the right end, gets across the line of scrimmage to the 45, still churning to the 50, and he gets into Flower Mound territory to the 46-yard line, a gain of 9 on the play. Matt Greenwood and Connor Lee on the stop for the Jaguars. The offensive line for the Dragons, Carson Green, Matt Lehan, Ryan Miller, Henry Kling, and Jackson Kimball tackle to tackle. They average 256 pounds across the front. Carroll with the first down of the game. On 1st and 10, inside handoff, little jet sweep coming near side. This is Schrum, who's carrying it inside the 40, and he gets down to that point, brought down after a gain of about 7. As Schrum, the 6-foot junior, got the little pitch inside from Holmes. Connor Lee made the tackle for Flower Mound. Dragons stay right up on the line of scrimmage. They're staying in the tempo offense. 2nd down at about 3. Snapping to Holmes, hands it off. Gaines sheds the tackles. He runs right inside the 35, bashes down to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10 yards. 1st down, Dragons. Kelly, they stay on the gas.
And on that play in particular, they had the defensive penetration into the backfield. Gaines ran right around 3 Flower Mound Jaguar tacklers. It's getting near the ball is one thing, but having the instincts, knowing what to do is another. Carroll looking pretty good on this opening possession.
They are on the move. 1st down and 10 from the 30-yard line. 3 receivers line up short side to the left, 4 across the front for Flower Mound. Snapping to Holmes, hands off Gaines. Big room, has 5, has 10. Bounces down inside the 20 to the 15. He's hit down at the 14-yard line as Chase Sutherland, the right defensive end, makes the tackle for Flower Mound. The Dragons are just gashing the Jags right now. Another 1st down.
Well, the only thing that stopped Audric Gaines on that play was he ran up the back of Jackson Davis, his downfield blocker, and couldn't get outside of the block.
1st and 10 from the 14. Had it again to Gaines. Big hole up the middle. Inside the 10. Down to the 7-yard line. Give him the 6 before he's finally brought down. Gain of about 8 on the play is Matt Greenwood, the free safety, and Alec Brooks, the well linebacker, on the stop for the Jags.
So Carroll on this possession, Chuck, going tempo but keeping it on the ground. They've thrown one ball, but they are literally just running it right at this Jaguar defensive front.
2nd down, a little more than 1 from the 6. They hand it to Gaines. He's going to bounce it out left. He's got room, and he will stroll into the end zone as he falls in over the goal line. Touchdown, Dragons. 3 minutes and 29 seconds into the football game. It's 6-0 Carroll.
That is what you have wanted to see out of this Carroll offense, really, Chuck, for 2 years. With Humphrey last year, they had the capacity to do this. They didn't often need to. Tonight, they needed to show they could establish the run. They did it in spades on this opening possession.
As Cole Ramage on to attempt the PAT. He is 9 out of 10 on the year. Out of the hold of Will Bowers, the backup quarterback, and the kick is up, and it's good. 8:31 to go in the opening quarter. Great start for the Dragons. It's Carroll 7 and Flower Mound nothing. Carroll takes an early 7-0 lead, a 7-play, 65-yard drive, taking 2 minutes. Taking 2 minutes and 12 seconds. That's right. It is Audric Gaines' a 6-yard touchdown run. Here's the kickoff from Cole Ramage, and with a big wind at his back, he's going to boom it out of the back of the end zone. And it will be Flower Mound starting from its own 25-yard line. 1st down and 10 yards to go. 1st down and 10, Flower Mound trailing 7-0. Second offensive possession is quarterback Jackson Averett. Lines up Uzuwihe in the backfield. Play fake, and he throws over the left side. And a quick pass caught by Sikora, and he will be outside the 30 after the 32-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play before Barrett Buck and Jake Murphy combine on the tackle.
Mound comes up with Jack Miller lined up tight to the right side and then trips left. Sikora, the inside receiver, in the mix. They just get it to him and let him run behind blockers.
2nd down and 3. Dragons showing a blitz off the edge. They've got 4 on the front as the snap to Everett as he rides the zone read. And he'll keep it straight ahead and runs into about 4 Dragons out at the 34-yard line. Might get a spot near the 35. Let's wait and see. That's close for the 1st down. Warner and Copeland leading that posse of Dragon defenders, and they are going to see, they're going to say that he's just short. Well, one of the markers across the way trying to move, and the guy in front was saying, no, we're not moving.
Jumped the gun a little there.
Well,
now they're saying 1st down.
Now,
a little indecision down there with the box crew, folks.
Oh, my heavens. Okay, it is 1st down and 10 for the 35-yard line. Snap to Averett, play fake. Ball popped in the air and caught by Jack Miller, the senior, who couldn't catch it the first time. He was immediately belted by Jacob Copeland. It's a loss of 2. Back to the 33.
Little swing pass to the perimeter, but thrown behind Miller. He's got to turn around in order to secure it. That's just enough time for the Carroll secondary to trigger and hit him for a negative play on 1st down, and that's not what Brian Basel wants. They don't want to be behind schedule on 1st and 2nd.
2nd down, statistically 11 yards from the 34-yard line. Again, the Dragons cheating up an extra man up front. They've got 4 as they've got a linebacker trying to sneak in. Doddridge lined up front along with Simrak and Jeter, the 3-down linemen. As they have 4 in the pattern. Snap it to Everett. Play fake. Throws a slant over the middle. It's incomplete at the 45-yard line in Flower Mound territory as Zach Welch was the intended receiver. Welch, whose dad played at Baylor. He was a backup quarterback last year. Was the one that they were looking for. Spittler and Sales on the coverage.
Sales coming in almost makes the pick off of a deflection. The ball thrown a little bit high, not batted down at the point of impact, and Sales was right there. But the bottom line now for Flower Mound, they're looking at 3rd and 11. This has been a problem for them all year, getting off the field on defense with 3rd down and converting 3rd down on offense. And this is going to be a tall order against this Dragon D, 3rd and 11.
From the 34-yard line, 3 receivers to the left. That's the open side of the field. Snap to Averett. He's going to fire over the middle into coverage, and the pass is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Barrett Buck right on the FM at the 50-yard line as Buck comes up with his first interception of the year, and the Dragons, who were -4 in the turnover takeaway category coming in, get a big play there from Barrett Buck.
That was a ball that was maybe thrown a little off the mark, and Barrett Buck, kind of ranging there in center field, is able to come over. He's covering. It's intended for Billy Sikora. Buck comes downhill and makes the catch on that ball, and now Carroll, excellent field position at their 49.
Already up 7-0. The Dragons will start again on the M of the interlocking FM in blue. Right there at the 49-yard line, Carroll side of the midfield stripe. 1 receiver left, 1 right. Snap it to Holmes. He's going to air out deep over the middle. The pass is overthrown, intended for Jackson Davis down around the 25-yard line. He was running step for step with the defender Matt Greenwood, the junior. And an incomplete pass that will bring up a 2nd down and 10. We didn't introduce the Jaguar defense to you. Daryl Rutherford and Colin Alvis, the tackles. The ends, Brandon McHugh and Chase Sutherland. Alec Brooks and Connor Lee, the linebackers. Will be more in a moment as a deep handoff on 2nd down and 10 goes to Gaines, and he's immediately stood up after a gain of 1.5 yards as he got across the 50 to the 49 in Flower Mound territory. Lee was in on the tackle for the Jaguars. Sterling Deary and Dakota Nielsen are the quarterbacks. Zane Swanenberg at a safety position along with Michael Haney. David Evans and Matt Greenwood we've seen. We told you 12 players there, but they've been alternating back and forth on this Jaguar D. 6:15 to go, opening quarters. The Dragons are going with an empty backfield on 3rd down and 9 from just across the 50-yard line. 2 receivers short side left, 3 to the right. Here comes the blitz. Holmes steps up. He's hit and he's dropped back at the 40-yard line. Heavy pressure came right down the middle from Grant Outram, the 6'3 junior who belted Holmes down, and the Dragon offense will have to give it up.
Outram probably the best pass rusher on this defensive front. He's long and lean at 6'3", 206, but also really quick. Carroll tackles doing a good job catching the perimeter blitzers, but they don't account for Outram, and Carroll now goes 3 and out.
So punt time here for Cole Ramage, who averages 40.5 yards a punt. With this wind behind him, he should get a good boom into it, and boy, it does. It carries a long way back all the way to the 5-yard line, where it's taken with a fair catch by Sterling Deary, a 52-yard punt. And Deary, if he lets that one go, would have seen it go through the end zone, and they would have had it at the 20, but instead they're going to start exactly at the 5. 5:23 to go, opening quarter. Dragons on top, 7-0, and Flower Mound getting the ball for the 3rd time in the game. Going to go with a 5-wide set, start Uzowihe in motion and set him now in the backfield. Snap it to the quarterback Averett, hands it to Uzowihe, and he will be hit for no gain right at the 5-yard line as Jacob Copeland is making his presence felt as he's in on that stop for the Dragons.
And it was clear Copeland was coming. He was lined up as a 4th defensive lineman. He just didn't have a hand down. No question he was coming. He got around the block and hit Uzowihe in the backfield before he could even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Dragons with 4 down linemen. Again, it's a 3-4 defense, but they're cheating extra man up front as a double wide set, 2x2 for the Jaguars on 2nd down and 10 from the 5-yard line. Everett standing on the goal line as he takes the shotgun snap, has it, fires over to the right boundary. It's incomplete at the 10. It was intended for Jack Miller. Copeland over in the coverage, so that'll bring up 3rd down. Not good field position here for the Jaguars. Clock stop, 4:43 in the first quarter.
Well, and probably not the play that you want when you're looking at 2nd and 10. You throw a little out route to Miller, only about 3 or 4 yards downfield, and he's got a guy already all over him in his pads. If you make that catch, you're looking at 3rd and 8, but now you're looking at 3rd and 10, and the Jags already 0 of 2 on 3rd down thus far in the early going.
Well, let's see what they look to do here as they line up 3 receivers to the left, 1 short side to the right. Then the Dragons playing man-to-man coverage defensively as they snap it to Everett, and he's going to fire out to the 15-yard line over on the left side, and it's caught. It's good for a first down, 11 yards out to the 16, as it was Zach Welch who made his 14th catch of the year. That ties him for second on the team with Billy Sikora. Zion Sales on the coverage for the Dragons.
And a nice catch by Welch. He needed to go up a little bit with the arms to make it. He had 2 secondary players on him, but he hung on and got past the marker to give Flower Mound a fresh set of downs.
From the 16-yard line. Snap it to the quarterback, Everett. Put it in the belly. Uzowihe up the middle. Breaks the tackle at the 20. Slithers out to the 25. Still churning. He'll have 11 more yards as he finally brought down out of the 27 by Buck and Miskell combining on the tackle, but the Jaguars move the chains.
Nice run there by Uzowihe. That's just basic zone read. He resists the temptation to bounce it out to the perimeter. Instead, he just finds that crease in the A-gap between Cumbie and Shapley and turns that into a nice positive first down carry and moves the chains yet again.
Again, they go with a 3-wide set to the near side of the field as on first down and 10, the pass deflected in the air. There's a flag down at the 30-yard line. Did the Dragons come up with the football, or was it incomplete? I guess it dropped and hit the ground as it was off the hands of the intended receiver, William Huber, but Mickens was there in the coverage. The ball popped into the air, and I think it was Matt Warner who was trying to come up with it, but there was a flag before everything started. Travis Smith had a good look at it. Trav?
Well, as Mickens was going around the receiver, he got his hand around and hit the ball, but I think he got body on body, so they're going to call pass interference on the South Lake Carroll.
Oh, boy.
Well, but you're going to have a little of that with a freshman corner in there. You got to like the aggressive play, but he did arrive just a split second too soon. That was what I thought when I saw the flag come out.
Welch, Sikora, Cowan, and Huber, the receivers. 2 left, 2 right as they move the ball out to the 36-yard line. Fresh set of downs after the pass interference. 7-0 Carroll early in the game. Snap to Everett. Has time. He's going to air it out one-on-one deep down the right side. The ball holds up in the air. There's a little contact at the 30, and it's incomplete. Intended for the sophomore Jake Welch as Buck was back in the coverage. That ball kind of hung up in the wind, it looked like. Incomplete.
The wind didn't help it, but the bottom line is that's not a throw that Everett makes terribly well. He's pretty good on the short and intermediate stuff, but going downfield deep, that ball was just underthrown. Everybody trying to come back for it, the wind holding it up even more, and now you're behind schedule on 2nd and 10.
They'll move Uzowihe to the left of the quarterback. Jackson Everett, the senior, 3 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions coming into the game. He'll fire over to the right sideline, right at the Jaguar bench, and it is incomplete. They rule him out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It would have been an 11-yard pickup as Welch made the catch. R.J. Mickens was the one in the coverage, and also a flag back in the offensive backfield area, and it could be holding. This one I think is coming back, Kelly.
Yeah, given the posture and positioning of the officiating crew, that is what it looks like. Ball nicely thrown. Good catch, by the way, by Jake Welch, the sophomore, younger brother of senior ex-receiver Zach Welch. As we're going to be calling the name Welch between the two of them quite a bit tonight, but between the penalty and the out-of-bounds catch, Mound now in even worse shape, looking at 2nd down and 20 from their own 26.
Sikora and Welch, short side to the right. That's Jake Welch, Zach Welch, and Jack Miller wide to the left. As Uzowihe starts in motion to the left, they toss him the football, and that play gets blown up back at the 20-yard line by Eric Spittler. He came through and absolutely read that play. It's a loss of 6.
Sometimes you come that quickly upfield like Spittler did, you just run past your guy, especially if he's fleet like Uzowihe. Spittler was right there. The ball is pitched, and Spittler is there to drive the ball carrier to the ground. Very long 3rd down for Mound.
Zach Welch will line up short side to the left. Sikora, Jake Welch, and Miller come to the right as they snap it to the quarterback. And Everett hands it to Uzowihe, and he really has nothing going as he gets to the 20-yard line and is knocked off his feet. So a 3rd down and 24 becomes 4th and 24, and the punt team to come on for the Jaguars with 2:40 in the clock running here in the first quarter.
Carroll defense does a nice job settling in. They allow a little bit of yardage, a little bit of production to this Flower Mound offense, but then they just get back to business and shut down this Flower Mound possession.
Josh Grant on to punt, again into the wind. Dragons get a heavy rush. Was there contact? Yep, flag thrown as it gets out to the 50-yard line. And it is going to be down there. It will be a 30-yard punt if the play stands. But Frank Wilcox, the referee, was looking right at it. And he said, nope, it's going to be a personal foul roughing the kicker. So the Dragons, after a 4th and 24, just give the Jaguars a first down.
And that is not what you want. You want to get your defense off the field on 3rd down. You just about do it, and then unfortunate penalty. But, again, Flower Mound escaping a little bit of adversity here. They will hang on to the ball.
First down and 10, Flower Mound from the 35-yard line as they move again from left to right. As we look at it here in the opening quarters, they'll roll the pocket this time, and Averett throws upfield complete in front of the Flower Mound bench up around the 45, right on the boundary. It's a gain of 10 as Jake Welch, the sophomore, his first catch, hauling it in. Jacob Copeland on the tackle for the Dragons.
Welch just running a little stop route as they move the pocket. He can see when his guy is ready to release, turns, finds the ball, and converts for the first down. That was nicely designed play by the Flower Mound offense.
Well, they're looking to the sideline for the play call. Clock resting 1:58 to go first quarter. Dragons on top 7-0. District opener here in Flower Mound next week. Carroll at home against Trinity. A big one at Dragon Stadium. First down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Bring a man in motion. That is Sikora, who comes from left to right. Sets up 2 receivers this way, and whistles blow before the snap. It's going to be an illegal procedure call against Flower Mound, and that'll back them up 5 yards. Sideline update. Here's Trav.
Flower Mound really needs to get Uzowie going. And the one game they won, the opening game, he rushed for over 215 yards and 3 touchdowns at 9 yards a carry. The last 2 games, both losses, he has less than 100 yards total and under 2 yards a carry. So he is the key to this team's offense.
2 receivers left, 2 right. Short side of the field is to the right. They start Uzowie in motion out of the backfield, snapping to Averett, and he throws over the middle near midfield. It is caught and immediately knocked down at the Flower Mound 46-yard line. William Huber, who makes his 5th catch of the year. Zion Sales from his quarterback position knocked him down right there at the 46.
Carroll coming with the blitz on that play, and before he can get rid of it, Averett is just about ready to get hit. Carroll pass rusher kind of trips over his own feet. He winds up grasping at air as Averett unloads the pass for the first down, but that could have been a disaster.
Second down 10 from the 46-yard line. They bring running back Uzowie out of the backfield, so it's empty back set. 5 in the pattern. The pass over on the right side, and it is going to be picked off. Intercepted by R.J. Mickens, the freshman, right at the 40-yard line in front of the Flower Mound bench. Mickens dived to grab that football thrown by Averett. It was intended for Sikora, but heavy pressure from Simrak and Doddridge caused the pass to go errantly, and the first INT for the 9th grader, R.J. Mickens.
Not a bad way to get your first one. And that ball to be overthrown like it was into this wind, you know he really had to put some desperation mustard on it. He overthrew the receiver by about a good 3-4 yards. Mickens keys and comes downhill to make the catch.
Think Papa Ray's happy about that one?
Oh, you betcha.
Former NFLer. Well, the Dragons take over 1:09 to go here in the first quarter. They'll start for their own 37. Handed to Audric Gaines. He picks his way through a little trouble across the 40. Gets out to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 8, but there is a flag down on the play as well. As Connor Lee, the captain of that Jaguar defense, along with Sterling Deary, the Dragons are retreating. So what would have been a nice game is going to be wiped out. It is a holding call against Carroll.
And given the trajectory of the flag, that was exactly what you thought to look for. So Carroll can't seem to get out of its own way. Twice now they've intercepted Flower Mound passes and then been unable to do anything with it on their first snap. Last time around they go for the home run ball. This time they try running, but the holding penalty now puts them at 1st and 20. They're going to have to think about throwing it a little now.
3 penalties, 35 yards already in the game for the Dragons. They'll go to the 2-back set now as they put Johansson in the backfield alongside Gaines, and the quarterback Holmes will snap it to Holmes, and immediately Gaines gets hit in the backfield, and he is going to be ridden down and dropped for a loss back to the 24-yard line. That's a loss of 6 as Brandon Baycue comes in. Baycue makes a nice play for that in slot. Davis Frondorf also in there from a linebacker position.
Yeah, Frondorf, very speedy as a linebacker, gets good upfield penetration. He was there to help detonate that play. What Gaines has got to learn is on the initial hit, don't make the loss worse by trying to keep moving. Go down.
Second down and 24. Dragons with their 30-yard line. Holmes has time. Now the pressure breaks down the pocket. He rolls out to his right. He's going to throw upfield around the 35-yard line, hauled in by Jackson Davis. So they're getting that connection going. A gain of 12 there. Remember, against Union, Davis had 4 catches for 97 yards. There's also a marker down on the play, so hang on, as David Frondorf was on that tackle. And guess what? Another holding call against the Dragons.
So Carroll creating the big plays on defense and moving backwards on offense.
Yep, that's the way it's gone.
Just going back to that play where Audric Gaines got dropped for a big loss, the coaching staff was not very happy with Mason Holmes. They said you need to make the zone read and keep that ball and shoot straight up the middle, because everybody came to the outside looking for Audric Gaines, and the middle of the field was wide open.
Carroll is normally not an oft-penalized team. In fact, 4 penalties, 35 yards the opener against Union, but 7 penalties, 81 yards against Martin, 7 penalties, 69 against Rockwall, and now 4 penalties, 45 yards already. We're not even through the first quarter here, as the Dragons leading 7-0 with a second down and 40. And it's going to be Holmes actually keeping the football as he gets across the line of scrimmage and crosses the 15 to the 20. And he'll have 8 yards out around the 22-yard line before Connerly makes the tackle on the final play of the first quarter. Well, one in the books, and the Dragons, despite not looking really sharp tonight, on top. Our score, Carroll 7 and Flower Mound nothing. 7-0 Dragons at the end of a quarter. Chuck Kelly, Kelly Mulligan, Travis Smith, happy to have you with us tonight at Neil Wilson Jaguar Stadium in Flower Mound. It's the district opener, as it's now 3rd down and 25 to start quarter number 2. The Dragons 0 for 1 on 3rd down tries from the 22. The snap to Holmes. He's going to go deep over on the left side, and the pass is caught near the boundary at the 35-yard line by Clayton Keys. The senior makes his 4th catch of the year. It's good for 13, but Kelly, not a lot of plays to convert a 25-yard need on 3rd down.
What you're hoping you can do is get the ball to somebody in space. If they can make somebody miss, they've got a chance to turn that into a bigger gain. But the main thing you want to do is at least get back close to the original line of scrimmage, and you've got an opportunity to play the field position game with a good deep punt.
Which they'll try to get here from Cole Ramage, who's now kicking into that stiff breeze. He puts the right foot into it and hits down around the 30-yard line in Flower Mound territory. Gets a good drag and roll inside the 25 to the 20, and it will be down to the 18 before it's touchdown there. After a 48-yard punt, Flower Mound will take over with 11:16 to go here in the first half. It is 7-0. The Dragons are on top. First down and 10 from the 18-yard line. Going to be an inside pitch. Sikora coming from right to left as he tries to get around the boundary, and he will be brought down beyond the 15 out near the 20-yard line as Eric Spidler came and got him. Actually, he said his knee was down at the 18, so that's going to be no gain on the play.
That was well defended by the Carroll defense. They strung it out. Sikora keeps looking for an opportunity to make that cut back upfield, and every time he did, white jersey there. Eventually, he just runs out of real estate and is hit near the sideline.
First down and second down and 10, beg your pardon, from the 18-yard line. Again, south to north, right to left goes Flower Mound here in quarter number 2. The Dragons going from left to right into that wind. As the quarterback, Jackson Averett, the captain, takes the snap. Play fake, Uzawihe throws out on the left side. It's caught. Welch spins quickly after he makes the grab at the 25. It is brought down after a pickup of 8 out to around the 26-yard line as Barrett Buck and Zion Sales in on the coverage. As Jackson Averett looks to the sideline for the play call, looks like they may be changing up a bit as they have one receiver short side to the left, trips to the right. The Dragons have 6 in the box as Uzawihe lines up to the right of Averett, who throws after a play fake, and it's incomplete, intended for Billy Sikora. Had some room out in the right flat, but the pass hits the turf. It was Jake Murphy in the coverage for the Dragons.
Just a little sticker out there, and I think the idea is to get the ball to Sikora, hopefully past the marker, and then maybe with an opportunity to do a little more after the catch. Ball thrown high. Sikora not really well positioned in terms of his body, and now another 3 and out. Carroll gets the ball back.
Josh Grant on the punt for the Flower Mound Jaguars, standing inside his 15-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 26. Good snap, chest high, puts the right foot into it. This is a high spinning kick down to the Dragon 36. A fair catch, R.J. Mickens hauls it in. 38 yards on the punt, and Carroll will take it with 9:39 to go here in the first half of play. Dragons in the traveling whites starting from their 36-yard line as Mason Holmes, the quarterback, who hasn't really done a lot through the air tonight, is going to have 5 yards tacked on here for an illegal procedure. And the Dragons have just been called for their 5th penalty of the ball game already for 50 yards.
And these are not insignificant penalties. We're talking a roughing call that gives Flower Mound a fresh set of downs, a couple of calls holding that move them back to a 3rd and 40, and now they're at 1st and 15. So Carroll putting themselves behind schedule with penalties tonight.
First down and 15. The Dragons off the right side hash from their own 31-yard line. Snap it to Holmes, puts it in the belly of Gaines, and he will get across the 30 as he dances ahead out to the 32. So he gets a couple back of the 5. Connor Lee on the tackle for the Flower Mound Jaguars.
And Travis made an excellent point earlier. Mason Holmes has got to be a little more aware of what's going on in the middle of the field on this zone read. A couple times now he's given it to Audric Gaines, and Gaines has just had a whole welcoming committee there, and Holmes had opportunities to pick up yardage.
On 2nd and 13 from the 33, Holmes checks down, swings it out, left side, caught by Gaines, and he will twist to the sidelines, gets knocked off his feet beyond the 32, maybe the 33, give him a gain of 1. Near the 34 as Frondorf on the tackle. So this Dragon offense not doing a whole lot here early. Remember, they're missing Robert Barnes, not in the game tonight with a hamstring injury, missing Cade Bell, another key receiver. So they're trying to make do with what they got, and so far they've got a 7-point lead. 0 for 2 on 3rd down tries. Royce Weigel in the game now at a receiver position. Weigel, a senior, as they snap it. And the quarterback, Holmes, on 3rd and 12, throws deep left side. It's incomplete, intended for Davis over at the Dragon bench. David Evans, the free safety, was in the coverage for Flower Mound, and the Dragons will have to punt this ball away.
Holmes throwing under a little bit of duress there, but he tries to hit Jackson Davis on an out route near the sideline. You need to finesse that a little. He burns that in high. He does not give Davis any time to adjust his footwork and make the catch. That was just almost thrown away.
Cole Ramage on to punt again, hits it from his 22-yard line. The line of scrimmage is at 34, and he puts it in the air. It'll hang up down around the 26, 27-yard line is where Flower Mound will have a 39-yard punt. Sterling Geary hauls that in. So 8:23 to go here in the first half. The Dragons on top 7-0. First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. 4 in the pattern for Jackson Averett as he rolls to his left, throws to the bench, and it's incomplete, intended for Zach Welch, who had to dive back to try to catch the football. Zion Sales in the coverage for the Dragons.
And there again, Averett rolling. They try to move the pocket a little for him. He's going to his left and throwing across his body, but the ball delivered a little bit off the mark. Welch on a stop route could just barely get a hand on that.
2nd down, 10 from the 27. This time the lineup trips to the left. One receiver over on the right side as they turn to the near side to ask for a play call perhaps from the bench. And yep, it looks like that call from offensive coordinator Scott Grantham is going to change his play a little bit as they snap it to Averett, and he's going to fire a quick pass out to the 30-yard line right side, right on the number 30. And it's William Huber who makes the catch. Huber with a gain of 5 on the play. He was tackled by R.J. Mickens.
Yeah, Huber's a guy that normally would be an inside receiver. Because of injuries, they've had to move him to the outside, but they love his physical play and his clutch ability to make catches in traffic. That wasn't an easy catch for him, but he does hang on to it and pick up a little positive yardage for Flower Mound, making it a little more manageable 3rd and 5.
Jags are 1 of 5 on 3rd down tries as they need the 5 yards from their 32-yard line. Dragons staying with 4 across the front. They snap it to Averett. Play fake as he rides the running back. Pass over the middle is intercepted. It is Jake Murphy who picks it off, goes down the left sidelines across the 30, down to the 25, to the 20, still moving toward the goal line. He reaches inside the 5. The ball was fumbled. It is recovered by Carroll. It is a touchdown for the Dragons after all of that. Holy cow, the interception was made by Jake Murphy, and it was Matt Werner who recovered the football in the end zone, and after all of that, it's 13-0.
So the 3rd interception, Murphy does a nice job working his way down the sideline, but as mentioned, he loses the ball as he's getting near the end zone. Good heads-up play by Werner to make the snag of that fumble and give Carroll a 2-score lead now.
As Will Bowers kneels down to hold the PAT from Cole Ramage. Good snap, ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. We've got a timeout with 7:25 to go in the first half. A 45-yard return on that Murphy interception. The fumble into the end zone. Warner falls on it, and the Dragons on top 14-0. The kickoff brought to you by Cole Ramage as he will bang it down near the goal line. It is caught, then fumbled, knocked down there at the 3-yard line, picked back up by Sterling Deary, and he's going to make a little bit of hay as he gets out beyond the 10-yard line, and he's finally finished at the 12 by Barrett Buck, and it won't be good field position for the Jaguars, down by 15.
And Everett on the night, 7 of 15 for 45 yards. More importantly, he's completed 3 to Dragon defenders, one of which just taken back for a pick 6.
Yeah, that turnover ratio thing's going to be turning the way this one's been going as they give it to Uzowihe, and he goes at right tackle from the line of scrimmage, the 12, out to the 16-yard line before he's brought down. It was Warner and Copeland combining on the tackle.
After that interception, Jake Murphy actually did hurt his knee, came to the sideline. He's back in there, has a severe limp. Robert Barnes grabs his helmet, comes over, trainer starts stretching him out. So maybe Robert Barnes might get called into emergency duty.
Oh, boy. 2nd down and 6 from the 16-yard line. Here's the snap to Everett. Throws out in the right flat. It's caught up the boundary into the 20 with the first down beyond the sticks out near the 25 as the receiver Billy Sikora makes his 15th catch of the year. Jake Murphy on the tackle. It's a gain of 9 on the play.
That was well timed. Little perimeter swing route to Sikora, hit in stride, turns upfield right as he makes the catch and is able to move the chains.
3 receivers, short side to the left, 1 wide to the right. Dragons stay with 4 across the middle and the 2 linebackers as they'll snap it to Jackson Everett and put it in the belly of Uzowihe as he breaks the line of scrimmage and tries to drag a tackler headed by the ankles. He gets to the 30 out to the 31. It's a gain of 6 as John Miskell, you heard during the pregame show, was the one that gets credit with the stop.
Somebody hit him high and just used to attempt an arm tackle. You're not going to get there with Uzowihe. He ran through that. So instead of 2nd and 8 or 9, they're looking at 2nd and 4. Good positive first down play for the Jaguars.
Jake Welch lines up short side to the right. They have 3 receivers that come to the left. They're going to throw this way, trying to set up a bubble screen, but they threw it behind the intended receiver, Billy Sikora. That was not a great pass. It will stop the clock with 5:49 to go until halftime. Jake Murphy was the one in the coverage for the Dragons.
Yeah, Miller is out there on the perimeter as the intended blocker. They tried to get it to Sikora behind him and let it run around the block. But the ball badly overthrown and even a little bit behind the receiver, so that play never had a chance.
Flower Mound 1 of 6 on 3rd down tries. Everett has found the Dragons twice. 2 interceptions on 3rd down attempts. So they've gone 33% and given the ball over in this situation. They need just 4 here from the 31. Dragons are showing a blitz, and they seem to back off a little bit. They'll line up 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and they fake the handoff. And going straight ahead up the middle, the quarterback, Everett, will have 5 yards. And the first down as he gets out to the 36-yard line. Buck and Doddridge on the tackle for Carroll, but a first down for Flower Mound.
If you just look at the numbers, you might not think of Everett as a running threat. And naturally, being your quarterback, you want to protect him, so they don't run him a lot. We heard Coach Basil say that in the pregame show. But he was their leading rusher against Keller Fossil Ridge. This is a guy that knows how to carry the ball. He picks his spots pretty well. Good example right there.
They line up the double stack receivers, 2 left and 2 right. First down and 10 from the 36-yard line as he swing a pass in the left flat looking for Sikora. Incomplete with Spittler over in the coverage.
Now, here's the thing. If you're looking for a receiver that's 5'8", you got to throw it a little bit lower. That is several passes intended for Sikora that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar might have had some difficulty pulling in. And when you hang a receiver out to dry like that, he gets clobbered like he does on that play right there. So these are just little nuances that you've got to work on. It's high school football, but you got to think about touch and accuracy on those throws.
Speaking of nuances, the scoreboard says it's 4th and 4, but I'm pretty sure it's 2nd down and 10 from the 36-yard line. Snap to Jackson Everett has pressure, throws down the left side, has a man caught, and then the ball skips through the hands of Zach Welch at the Dragon 35. Murphy was back in the coverage. Boy, Everett dropped that one right in the bucket, but Zach Welch could not hang on.
Oh, mama, there's a first down. What ain't coming back? He had that ball right in his midst, was struggling to run with it, and just watched it slip away. So Flower Mound now looking at giving the ball back to Carroll.
Murphy is now out for the Dragons, and Gavin Arison has come in at a quarterback position. So the Dragons reaching into the depth chart as they've got Sales and Arison. at the quarterback positions, as it's now 3rd down and 10 for Flower Mound. 2 of 7 on 3rd down tries as they snap it back to the quarterback. The pass comes over from Averett on the left side. He was intending it for Huber, but it was incomplete. Near the Jaguar bench is Zion Sales in the coverage for the Dragons. That'll force yet another punt for Flower Mound.
What you have to like is this Dragon secondary, as banged up as it is, and now with Murphy going out, it looks like it may be even more banged up than we knew or anticipated, is doing a really good job against an offense that wants to throw the ball downfield. They're good at coverage, they're good pressuring, and now Murphy's back out there, so he may not be too badly banged up. We'll see.
R.J. Minkins on to return the punt. 4th and 10 from the 36. Josh Grant puts the foot into it with the wind. He bangs it down to the Carroll 25. Fair catch called for by Minkins. A 39-yard punt. 4:58 to go until halftime. The Dragons leading 14-0. On 1st down and 10, the Dragons will start from the 25-yard line, and a handoff to Audric Gaines, the running back, who goes to left guard, gets a couple of yards, maybe 3, out near the 28.
So here's a note for you, Chuck. Since that opening drive, Carroll looked crisp and effective, going 7 plays for the touchdown. They've had 3 straight 3-and-outs, and not a really spectacular play on 1st down there. So this offense got to get out of second gear, and there's another penalty.
Yep, well, they had the 2-back set, and they had all kind of juking and jiving going on the defensive front. Now, they weren't crossing the line of scrimmage. Their linebackers were coming up showing blitz, and one of the Dragons jumped, and that'll cost Carroll 5 more yards. And again, Hal said in the pregame show, head coach Hal Wasson said Rockwall was an ugly victory. If they get out of here with a win tonight, I can't wait to see what adjective he uses to describe this one.
Lovely is not one that comes to mind based on what we've seen in this first half here.
2nd down and 13 from the 22. Dragons going from left to right. They will send Gaines out in motion to the left as they snap it to Holmes. Sets up the screen. It's caught. Schrum has running room up the middle to the 20. Gets to the 25. Back to the original line of scrimmage. He gets the 5 yards before Outram on the tackle. So Hudson Schrum with his 7th catch of the year. The junior moves it out to the 25. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
But now Carroll looking effectively where they started. They are at 3rd and 10. They're not throwing the ball well downfield, and these east-west plays aren't working terribly well for them. You'd like to see them get a 1st down here. They're 0 of 3 on 3rd downs tonight.
Addie Neal Popfine comes in as a nickelback for Flower Mound on 3rd and 10 from the 25. Snap to Mason Holmes, has protection, airs it out one-on-one left sidelines, incomplete. As actually they had another man coming over to help defend on Clayton Keys. A couple of the Jaguar defenders back there. It was Deary with help from Evans, and that'll be 4th down. The Dragons will be forced to punt.
Yeah, not a real pretty possession there, and not a great way to end it. On 3rd down, a sideline route thrown into double coverage. There was really never any chance for Carroll to do anything on that play.
4th straight 3-and-out for the Dragons. You can text your verb that describes this game to the Dragons. Actually, you can tweet it if you want to Metro Sports DFW, as the punt down to the 34-yard line is where it's taken in there. A 41-yard kick as Sterling Deary hauls it in. Will be 1st down for the Jaguars at that point. 1st down and 10 from the 34. Snap it to the quarterback. Heavy pressure coming. They set up the screen as Averett dumps it on Uzowihe with blocking up the middle. Gets to the 40, 45, 50 into Dragon territory. Still running with a flag down. Breaks a tackle at the 30. Comes left to the 20. He's to the 10, and he will score. 66 yards. Ifeanyi Uzowihe, as there is a flag down that will check, but I think this is going to hold up, and if it does, the Jaguars are back within 14-6.
Yeah, I think the call from Travis on the sideline is it looked like a face mask, and I think I saw the infraction. So, yeah, this is going to be a perfectly executed screen pass to Uzowihe. Carroll defenders coming full steam. Ball just nicely dropped into Uzowihe's breadbasket behind 3 or 4 receivers as downfield blockers. Uzowihe shows that 4-5 straight line speed at about the 25-yard line. He turns on the jets to get away from a pursuing Carroll defender, and just like that, Copeland gets outrun and Flower Mound on the board.
Josh Grant tried to tack on the PAT on the hold of Landon Sadler. Good pass from center. The ball down, kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field as Flower Mound has broken the seal on their side of the scoreboard. It's the Dragons 14 and the Jaguars 7. So going to attack that penalty of the face mask that happened on the play and scatters the Dragon band as it went through the goalpost. But it'll be 1st down and 10 at the 25-yard line for Carroll as we've got 3:14 to go here in the first half. big fans of the Carroll Dragons. As first down and 10, Carroll from its own 25-yard line, and Mason Holmes is going to throw over to the right sideline. The pass was tipped, and it's caught at the 37-yard line by Hudson Schrum, who actually deflected that ball to himself. Looked like it was going to be incomplete. Instead, it's a gain of 12.
That's like a cat with a ball of yarn. That was nicely executed by Schrum. Good to see this Carroll offense do something aside from a 3 and out. I got a number here we'll talk about in a moment.
From the 37-yard line, handoff goes to the running back, Audric Gaines, as he will skitter around the left end and pick up maybe 3 yards from the 37 out to the 40 before Davis Frondorf on the tackle.
So after that impressive opening drive, we get to the 250 mark in the first half. Carroll now just 86 total yards on 19 plays. Flower Mound double that, 37 plays, 148 yards.
Second down, 7 from the 40-yard line. Dragons on top, 14-7. We play late in the second quarter. Snap to the quarterback. That is Holmes. Goes over on the left sideline at the Dragon bench. It is caught just shy of the 50 at the Carroll 48-yard line. It's a gain of 8 yards on the play as the receiver was Clayton Keys in front of Sterling Deary. So it'll bring up another first down situation for the Dragons, trying to score some points here late in the first half.
A lot like last week, after struggling and sputtering for most of the first half, the Carroll offense came to life late in the second quarter. Maybe that's what we're seeing here.
4 in the pattern, play fake Holmes, deep left side, one-on-one, down around the 20, incomplete over on the sidelines, intended for Keys, who was running back there with Deary. That'll stop the clock, 2:25 to go here in the first half. Don't forget the Feed Store Barbecue halftime report coming up. We'll have maybe a couple of highlights. There's been a whole lot to talk about in a 14-7 game. We'll have the Dragon who makes the difference. Be sure you stick around for that. We'll have stats and scores and a lot more. As the snap to Holmes, fakes the handoff, going to quarterback keep as he comes around the left end, and he gets hog-tied as he jumped over the line of scrimmage, the 48, brought down at the 50 by Matt Greenwood. Holmes thought he was going somewhere, Kelly. He was very successful against Rockwall, but Greenwood said, stop here.
Greenwood sticks out an arm as Holmes is going by. That was a very heady play by a junior safety that is really looked upon as a possible leader next year. He's been a playmaker for that defense this year, and that was a big one right there.
The Dragons are 0 of 4 on third down tries tonight. It is third down and 8 from the 50. The fans coming to life here on the Flower Mound side below as the snap to Holmes goes one-on-one over the right side. Good defensive coverage, but a flag is thrown as it was intended for Schrum, but Dakota Nielsen came up. He got the hand in. He did his job, but they said he made contact from behind. It's going to be pass interference.
Yeah, he had a hand on the shoulder pad as he was putting the other hand in front of the ball. Let's take it down to Travis.
You might have to give an assist to Coach Wasson on that one, because the play before he was kind of getting into the back judge's ear about calling pass interference. Sure enough, the next play he gets a pass interference call. A very close one at that.
That old KG Hal Wasson.
Well, the fact that there was pass interference obviously helps
that too. Two-back set for the Dragons. First down and 10, just inside the 40. Handoff to Gaines. He turns right, gets inside the 35, down to the 30, but another flag is thrown.
Several more.
Frank Wilcox's flags. Yep, what did my buddy Craig Way said? Looks like canaries down on the field. As there were several pieces of laundry that are down there. I count 3 right now. It's going to be a hold against the Dragons.
Not a lot of first half highlights, but we could review some of the niftier flag throws because there have been a bunch.
8 penalties, 80 yards. So again, what we were saying earlier, the Dragons so far this year, the worst game penalty-wise was week 2 at home against Martin. They had 81 yards on 7 penalties. So they're right there already. We're not even at halftime.
Well, they try really hard. I think they can better that.
First down from the 49-yard line, and they'll hand up the middle, and Audric Gaines will go for 9 yards before Alec Brooks and David Frondorf on the tackle. Davis Frondorf, the senior will linebacker, helping onto that stop. The ball marked at the 40-yard line. Clock running, 1:10 to go here in the first half of play. Now, both teams have the full complement of 3 timeouts. Dragons moving into the wind with a 2-back set. Snap to Mason Holmes. Looks over on the left side. Pass stays up. It is caught inside the 30. Grabbed by Clayton Keys. Nice job, Keys, the senior. It's a gain of 11 in front of Sterling Deary. First down, Dragons.
That was a nice catch. He just comes back off of a little stop route, and he knows he's going to get hit when he makes the catch, but he concentrates and hangs on, and Carroll's still in business here with 50 seconds left in the half.
First down and 10 for the 29. Handed to Gaines. A little stutter step, and he dances over at left tackle, and he'll get inside inside the 30. Gain of about 3 yards, down around the 27 maybe, and it looks like we got a timeout called. Out of the timeout, the Dragons with 44 seconds remaining until intermission just used the first play stoppage. It is 2nd down and 7 at the Flower Mound 26-yard line. As they line up one receiver to the left, 3 come wide to the right. Dragons trying to improve that 14-7 advantage as they snap it to Holmes, handed to Gaines. He has room as he goes left inside the 25, down to the 20, and he'll have a first down at the 19-yard line. A gain of 7 for Audric Gaines. Alec Brooks on the tackle for the Jaguars.
Nice deception with the formation. Trips right, one guy weak side left, and send Audric Gaines behind him while they look at those 3 receivers.
First down and 10, handed to Gaines. Another big holes. He goes left side inside the 15, gets all the way down to the 10, and he stopped at the 8-yard line. Another gash of 11 yards for Audric Gaines. Deary on the tackle, and another timeout call. Will break 24 seconds to go until halftime. Out of the timeout, 24 seconds left to go first half. Let me amend what I said into the break. The Dragons are leading 14-7 over Flower Mound. Didn't mean to cheat the Jaguars out of the touchdown they got a few moments ago. Carroll going with a 2-back set, 1 receiver left, 2 wide to the right. Again on 1st and goal from the 8. Snap to Holmes. Looks to the right, can't find a receiver, tucks it down. He's going to run. Going to the left boundary. He gets to the 10, to the 5, and he gets hit hard. Knocked out of bounds at the 5 as David Evans and Alec Brooks came in to lay the thunder on Holmes, but he pops right back up. It's a gain of 3.
Well, a good spot there. It looks like they're going to give him the 4. But, you know, when your offense is struggling, sometimes deep red zone like this is about the most difficult position to be in.
Reed Thompson comes in at a blocking back right here on 2nd down and goal to go from the 4. 16 seconds clock stop as that play went out of bounds a moment ago. 14th play of the drive, the Dragons' longest of the ball game. They'll line up one receiver short side left. Twins to the right. Handoff, running play up the middle. Jack Johansson into the end zone. Touchdown, Dragons. Big running play by Jack Johansson. He had a hole you could have driven the proverbial Mack truck through, and just like that, the Dragons extend their lead. It's now 20-7.
Very nice hole up front. Miller and Kling primarily looked like they were responsible for that. Johansson just darts through that small back like that, and nobody sees him, nobody touches him. Carroll extends their lead.
As the kick on the way by Cole Ramage to tack on the PAT, and he is good. So we'll break it. 13 seconds remaining until halftime. 14 plays, 75 yards, the 4-yard TD run by Jack Johansson. Prior to that, 19 plays, 86 yards on 4 drives for the Dragons. They did all that in 1, and they have a 21-7 lead. And kickoff was fumbled around by Deary, who picks it up, and he gets knocked down out beyond the 20 at the 23 with 8 seconds to go until halftime. Well, 8 ticks to go until halftime. This will probably be a down and out here for Jackson Everett, who stands back at his 17-yard line. Now they're going to say, why not? Give it to Yuzo Wihei, and he'll go up middle and gain about 5-6 yards on the play. Jacob Doddridge on the tackle, and that will be the end of the first half. 2 quarters in the books. Dragons on top 21-7. Ready to get it started here in quarter number 3. The Dragons won the toss before the game, deferred to the second half. They'll get the football. They're going to be going from north to south. That is into the wind. They'll be going left to right. The Dragons in the all-white traveling uniforms. And Flower Mound to kick it away. It's going to go through the back of the end zone. And the Dragons will have it at the 25-yard line. Redressing the teams, in case you didn't catch it at the first. Flower Mound, kind of interesting uniforms. They've got these navy tops with gray numerals and gray pants. And they've got the gray shoulders on their jersey. Now, the helmet is kind of a navy matte. Help me out here, Kelly. You're more of the guy that can describe these kind of things. But
navy matte with a chrome stripe, and you've got the chrome Jaguar profile on this. It's pretty slick looking.
Yeah, it really is. But the Dragons, speaking of slick, we love their road uniforms, and they're not the hideous ones they wore in Rockwall. Those should be burned. But anyway, these are the traditional all whites, and they look good. The green numerals, black trim, the white headgear with the Dragon emblem on the side of the helmet. As on 1st and 10, a swing pass in the left flat is caught by Jackson Davis, and he'll go up the left boundary across the 30, out to the 31, 32, give him 7 yards, as Dakota Nielsen was the one that bumped him out of bounds, and the Dragons will be facing 2nd down. Just underway, 3rd quarter, Carroll on top 21-7. Next week, it'll be Trinity at home, 7:30 Friday night. We're on the air at 6:30. On 2nd down, they do the zone read, and they will hand it to Gaines, and he has nothing doing as he gets met right at the 30-yard line, winds up losing a yard as Darrell Rutherford, the senior nose guard, on the tackle for the Jaguars. For Carroll, it is Green, Lehan, Miller, Kling, and Kimball across the front, tackle to tackle the offensive line for the Dragons, who are 1 for 5 on third down conversions, but right now they need about 6.5 yards from their own 29-yard line. Just underway, quarter number 3. Flower Mound and its crowd looking for a defensive stop. You hear them making noise below as the shotgun snap to Holmes. He's going to look over on the left side, and the pass is caught out beyond the 40. Good for a first down. It's Clayton Keys. The senior's been a busy guy tonight. That's good for 14 yards before he's ridden down by David Evans.
Keys is quietly having one very good night. On the first play of this drive, 4 catches for 46 yards. He had a block to spring Jackson Davis on that first play of this drive.
Well, the free safety, David Evans, is the injured player on the field for Flower Mound, although he pops up to his feet fairly quickly, taking down the sidelines of Trav.
Well, after the tackle, David Evans, free safety for Flower Mound, came up grabbing that left hamstring. So I'm going to guess that is his issue. Why it's not so severe. He is limping off the field, but it could be either a cramp or he did pull it slightly.
Zach Swanberg comes in the game at a defensive back position.
For Greenwood back there at the
at
the free safety position now.
Jackson Davis, Hudson Schrum, Clayton Keys, Jack Johansson, the receivers. As Carroll looks at a 1st and 10 from its own 44-yard line. Mason Holmes looks to the Dragon sidelines across the way for the play call. Offensive coordinator Mark Humble letting them know what they want as they radio down from the press box. And now we're ready to go. As the 4-man rush coming, actually 5, they send an extra. They get a hand on Holmes, but now he tucks it up, runs straight ahead, takes quite a hit as he gets only back to the line of scrimmage. Connor Lee was the one on the tackle, but a couple of times in this game, Kelly, that Mason Holmes has really been exposed and was taking a lick.
Yeah, and that was one where he had pursuit coming from right in front of him by Davis Frondorf. He bailed out on that one pretty quickly. He got upfield, did get hit hard, and now, yes, as it appears that he is...
breaking news,
still down there at about the 44-yard line.
Travis?
Yeah, it looked like they were working on the shoulder, Chuck, but it is the left shoulder they were working on, so that is pretty good news there. He's coming off. He seems pretty spry. I don't think this will be an injury he's going to sit out long.
And sometimes when a guy's down on the field, he's not moving, and you're thinking the worst, and it's because coaches and trainers are telling him not to move so we can figure out what's going on. Once he did get up, he got to his own sideline under his own power pretty quickly.
Well, here comes Will Bowers, 15 years old, as he takes the snap and will hand it off to Audric Gaines. On 2nd down and 10, he'll get a couple of yards before he's tackled by Connor Lee. So Bowers comes into the ball game
and
for
now
only
he goes
one
out.
play. Yep, and he heads out. And back in comes Mason Holmes. So a sigh of relief for Dragon fans. Not that they didn't want to see Will Bowers play some more, but you certainly want to have your starting quarterback in the game, particularly in one that's a 14-point contest. Dragons 2 of 6 on 3rd down tries. It's 3rd down and 8 as the snap to Holmes is going to air it out as a man wide open down the left sidelines, but it is caught. Keys there makes the grab down at the 20. Thought he'd overthrown him, but Keys went headlong to haul it in, and that is a gain of 33 yards and a Dragon first down.
Keys went horizontal like an ultimate Frisbee player. I mean, he laid out for that one and then did a good job securing it to his body before he hit the ground. He is really having a great night. 5 catches, 79 yards.
1st down and 10 from the 21-yard line. Here's the snap to Holmes, hands it to Gaines with blocking, goes left toward the boundary, inside the 20, gets down to the 15-yard line, out of bounds at the 14. A pickup of 7, Evans and Deary on the tackle.
And going back to that 3rd down play, Chuck, one thing that really helps, there was obviously some sort of coverage confusion out of the Flower Mound secondary. There was nobody around Keys. He was wide open when the ball was delivered.
Yep.
So
I was worried that Holmes put a little bit too much on it, but Keys got it. 1st down and 10 from the 13, handed off Gaines. He's powering ahead, gets inside the 10 with the 1st down. They'll get down near the 6-yard line. And the Dragons, now with 9:19 to go here in quarter number 3, will now set up a power set, pistol formation to the left. Snap it to Holmes, handoff Gaines, looking for running room. Skips at the 5, goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Dragons. 7 yards on the run for Audric Gaines, who found his sliver and made one leap at about the 2. into the end zone, and the Dragons have opened it up. Now it's 27-7 as Gaines goes over 100 yards on the night.
And once again, the Dragons come out with their first possession of the half, look very sharp in their execution once they get going and put some points on the board. They've made this a 3-score game.
As Cole Ramage bangs it through, and less than 3 minutes into the third quarter, the Dragons tack on a touchdown. It's now Carroll 28 and Flower Mound 7. And kickoff from Cole Ramage into the wind will hold up and be taken on the run at the 9-yard line. Back comes Johnson to the left, gets to the 15, stutter step, misses a tackle at the 20 and gets out to the 23. And that's where the Dragons will, the Jaguars will have it after Alec White makes the tackle for the Dragons with 9 minutes exactly remaining in quarter number 3. First down and 10 from the 23. Shotgun snap. Goes to the quarterback, Jackson Averett, hands it to Ifeanyi Uzowihe, and he tries to get around the right end. Instead, he runs into a bunch of Dragon tacklers and has no gain on the play. Luke Jeter from his end position. Jacob Doddridge also helping out. And that will bring up a second down and about 9.5 to go.
Dragon defense doing a really good job on these east-west plays. When Mound just tries gashing into the middle of the defense, going north-south, they seem to have a little bit better luck. But Uzowihe chased down by several Dragons on the first play of the drive.
Gavin Arison in the game at a safety position for the Dragons. Again, Murphy'd been banged up. Barnes is out as they'll hand it off to Uzowihe, and he breaks a hole up the middle, gets across the 30, 35, gets to the 40, still churning out to the 42. A gain of 18 yards before he's brought down. It's his largest run of the night. R.J. Mickens, the freshman, on the tackle.
And going behind that right side, David McHale and Ryan Lenheiser, a couple of big bodies, opened up a nice hole for him, but quick hitting play north-south, and Flower Mound in business with a first down.
First and 10 at the 42. Set up a wingman to the right side, 2 receivers to the left. Ball comes free of the handoff, and the Dragons pounce on it. Luke Jeter with a fumble recovery inside the Flower Mound 40. It's right around the 37-yard line, and the 4th turnover of the ball game as Averett and Uzowihe couldn't decide who was going to carry it. The ball popped out, and Luke Jeter comes up with a fumble recovery, and the Dragons have it. First down and 10 for the Dragons at the 38-yard line. Mason Holmes back in at quarterback. They've got a double wing set to the right side, and they're going to hand it deep handoff. Big running room. Gaines gets to the 30, knifes his way to the 25 and down to the 20-yard line before he's brought down there by Matt Greenwood, the junior safety, but not before a gain of 18 yards and a Dragon first down.
And, you know, that's kind of what you want to see this offense doing. This is a game that is now very easily manageable for this Carroll offense. Don't take a chance and expose Mason Holmes to another hit. Lean on that offensive line.
Robert Sledge in the game at the running back position, and they hand it off to the senior as he goes left side. Look at those road graders trying to lead the way, but only 2 yards for Sledge as Greenwood and Lee slipped through that big convoy up in front. Boy, it looked like Sherman tanks rolling out over on the right side for the Dragons on offensive line, but just a gain of a couple.
Connor Lee we haven't talked about much tonight, but that's a special player. He is really an outstanding linebacker, and I'm sure we'll be talking about him more later tonight.
Hand off to Sledge, gets the running room inside the 20, still churning to the 10. He is all the way down to the 5, and he's to the 3-yard line before he's finally brought down there. Matt Greenwood and Chase Sutherland on the tackle, but a gain on the play of 15 for Sledge, who comes in like a jackhammer and gets the Dragons on the lip of the cup.
You didn't want to say sledgehammer.
First down and goal to go from the 3. Handed off to Jack Johansson. He'll get 2 down to the 1. And Alec Brooks on the tackle for Flower Mound. The Dragons about to push this one over the cliff, it looks like, already leading 28-7, now 1 yard away.
And the road graders are definitely doing their job. They are clearing out dark blue jerseys, and maybe this Mound defense is wearing down a little here as we get into the second half.
2-back set, handoff goes from Holmes to his running back, Robert Sledge, into the end zone, touchdown! Dragons on the board, a little handoff between left guard and tackle, and Robert Sledge gets his first touchdown as a Dragon, and Carroll now opens up the lead. It's 34-7.
Just a little inside zone give behind Lehan and Miller there on the left side. Sledge makes a nice, quick, knifing, accelerating run, and he's into the end zone. Dragons have now got this one firmly in command.
Is the PAT good from Cole Ramage. We've got timeout on the field, 6:25 to go third quarter. Our new score becomes Carroll 35 and Flower Mound 7. Kickoff to come here from Mr. Cole Ramage, who hits it at his 40-yard line. And the kick into the wind is going to go toward the out-of-bounds line, and it is going to go out at the 5 in Flower Mound territories. The Jaguars can take it after the 9th penalty of the game for the Dragons in good field position. They mark it out to the 30-yard line, so it's first down and 10 from the 30 as Jackson Averett throws a swing pass to Billy Sikora, and he will get out beyond the 30 to the 35-yard line. Jacob Copeland on the tackle for the Dragons.
Trying to get the ball to Sikora in space off there to the left side. They spotted what looked like a little gap in the Dragon zone coverage. Dragon linebackers closed quickly, and as a result, that play contained for just a gain of 6.
Jackson Averett lines up at the shotgun. Uzowihe lines up just to his right. 2 receivers left, short side, 2 wide to the right. Dragons 3 across the front. Copeland cheating up, but he'll back out after the snap. A little swing pass in the right flat, incomplete as it was intended out there for Uzowihe, and it'll be 3rd down and 4.
They missed a chance for another big play. The Carroll showing quarters coverage and all 4 of the secondary men moving backwards at the snap. They throw that ball underneath to Uzowihe on a swing, and if he makes that catch, he's probably got 20 before anyone closes on him. He just can't bring it in, and now it's 3rd and 4.
From the 36-yard line, the Jaguars going from south to north, that is right to left here in quarter number 3. They're 2 of 8 on 3rd down tries. Bring a blocking back in motion toward the middle of the line as they snap it to Averett and rolls out to his right, throws upfield to the 50, and it's incomplete, looking for Billy Sikora. And it'll bring up 4th down, and they will have to punt it away.
And again, nice pressure by the Dragon defense on 3rd down. Might have been a safe play to just give the ball to Uzowihe and see if you could get the 4 on the ground. They were going for the pass play. Jeter back there to put the pressure on Averett, blow that one up, and now Flower Mound kicking it back to the Dragons.
Josh Grant back to punt away again, standing at his 24-yard line. R.J. Mickens at the Dragon 25. Right foot into it with the wind. Very wobbly kick. It's going to hit down at the Dragon 30 and get a roll inside the 25 to the 20. Great roll. Still rolling inside the 15-yard line. They're just going to keep on marching all the way to the 14, and that is where it dies. That is exactly a 50-yard punt with 5:29 to go here in the 3rd quarter. First down and 10. The Dragons will start for the 14-yard line, and they'll toss it to Hudson Schrum, trying to sweep around the left side, and he will have yardage out across the 15 to the 20, maybe even the 21. Gain of 7 on the play. Greenwood and Brooks on the tackle.
Second time Carroll has gone to Schrum on the jet sweep. A nice way to get him involved in the offense, and he shows nice acceleration coming around the corner. You like 2nd and 3.
Dragons playing the 2-back set, and they will hand it Audric Gaines, and he will run at left tackle and surge out across the 25 to the 30, and he will have 10 yards all the way out to the 31-yard line. They'll move the chains. A stop made by Alec Brooks.
And this is reminiscent of the Martin game, where you saw the way that Audric Gaines asserted himself behind this offensive line in the second half, eating up big chunks of yards and, more importantly, just eating up clock. And if you're Carroll, there's certainly nothing wrong with that.
First down and 10 from the 31. Handoff Gaines. Again, short yardage, 2 to the 33. As Connor Lee on the tackle. The Dragons leading 35-7. 4:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's Mason Holmes, fakes the handoff, going to keep it running play around the right side, goes right into the Flower Mound bench, but there's a marker down behind the play as he got out to the 45-yard line. It was Nilpafon who bumped him out of bounds. You were going to say earlier, Kelly, about the linebacker Connor Lee.
Yeah, Connor Lee, we're calling his name a lot more here in the second half. He's been a lot more active. He's just ranging and finding the ball carrier, but he's the younger brother of Hunter Lee, who was the running back of some note for Flower Mound, wanted to play at Louisiana Tech. Connor Lee, a junior, a returning starter, a captain, very active with FCA and I am second, leader on and off the field. He's really the true alpha dog of this program, and he's a guy that Coach Basil and his staff can build around, not just this year but next, and you see what an impact he can have here in the 3rd quarter tonight. He's played very well.
Well, the Dragons have eclipsed their penalty number. That was the highest early in the year. That was against Martin. They've now been called 9 penalties tonight, 90 yards after that hold. As Sledge in the backfield, they go out of the pistol, snap it to Holmes, and he'll hand it to Sledge. No, he won't either. He'll roll out to the right, throw upfield, pass caught out at the 43, eluding a tackle. Jackson Davis will be swung down across the 50 at the 46-yard line. That is a 31-yard pass and run for Mason Holmes to Jackson Davis. David Evans on the tackle, and there is an injured Jaguar down on the field right in front of the Flower Mound bench. It looks like, Greenwood's the one being attended to.
Well, Greenwood was the one who tried to tackle Jackson Davis after the reception. Davis ducked his head and slipped him, and Greenwood went down awkwardly. So nice play by Davis, tough break for Greenwood, but nice pitch and catch for the Dragon offense.
Boy, you can tell here on the near side as they attend to the damaged player below to make sure that he's going to be okay. But you can tell the air just kind of gone out of this place because this was a big opportunity for Flower Mound. They're looking for a signature win here in Brian Basil's first year. And they were going at it nip and tuck with the Dragons, but now this has kind of gotten out of bounds.
Yeah, and in their first two losses thus far this year, they were both close games to Fossil Ridge and Timber Creek. They were in those games. It was a handful of plays is all was the difference between 1-2 and 3-0, but this one's getting away from them.
Well, it looks like it could be a shoulder. They're going to check out on Greenwood as he comes to the sidelines. Again, he was right in front of him here on the near side, so it looks like he'll be okay.
And that's good. He's another guy that's a real vocal leader of this defense. He's a very passionate, intense player. They love that about him, and this just did. He's pretty good safety, too.
1st and 10 from the 46. Holmes stands tall, throws over the middle, caught. Davis has it down inside the 25, pushing forward to the 20, all the way down to the 17-yard line. 29 yards on the pass play from Mason Holmes to Jackson Davis as David Evans and Davis Frondorf on the tackle for Flower Mound.
Davis starts off on the left side of the formation, then just makes a turn in off of a post about 20 deep, and he's all alone. There's nobody there to corral him. He makes the catch, picks up a few more after the grab, and this Carroll offense is looking a lot better right now than it did in the first going.
Darryl Crockett, son of former NFLer Ray Crockett, in the game at a receiver position. He's a little guy over on the left side, lines up in a 3-wide set as Holmes fakes the handoff, goes straight ahead. Mason Holmes carrying the football, gets 8 yards down to the 10-yard line. I'm sitting here watching this as Lee made the tackle saying, "Get down, Mason, get down."
He did that with pluck and aplomb. He fears nothing, ladies and gentlemen.
Put this one in the end zone and get him out, shall we? 2nd down and 2 from the 10. Handoff, running room. There goes Gaines inside the 5-yard line. Gets all the way down to the 3. A gain of 7. 1st and goal to go.
Well, and you talk about the air coming out of this place. I think you're seeing the air come out of this Flower Mound defense. The intensity just isn't what it was in the first half, and you can see what looks like reduced effort.
Mason Holmes waiting for the shotgun snap on 1st and goal from the 3. He's going to fake the handoff, keep it around the right end, and Holmes strolls into the end zone for the touchdown. Mason Holmes with his 2nd TD rushing of the year, and the Dragons blowing this one totally open. It's now 41-7.
And that was a drive that looked more normally like vintage Carroll. They just had their way with this Jaguar defense starting at their 14-yard line. They moved the ball beautifully on the ground, in the air, and now this game is pretty much in command, out of control if you're Flower Mound.
Yep, some people heading for the exits here on the near side as Will Bowers to hold. Good by Cole Ramage. And we've got timeout with 2:36 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Our new score becomes Carroll 42 and Flower Mound 7. Kickoff into the wind comes down to the 10-yard line, fielded by Ryan Johnson. He gets hit hard and knocked down at the 23-yard line. It was Grant Phelps who came in and laid the lumber to him. It'll be 1st down for the Jaguars at that point. 1st down and 10, Flower Mound from its own 21. Low snap to Everett, puts it in the belly of Uzawihe, and he gets knocked down by Jacob Doddridge. That's a loss of 6 yards all the way back around the 16. And Kelly's would click down on 2:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, the air has left the Jaguars' wagon.
Yeah, just not nearly as sharp or crisp executing on either side of the ball. Again, low snap, not a great job getting the ball to Uzawihe, but that offensive line just, they don't move real fast. They're big, but they are not real fleet of foot. And the Carroll defense getting through there.
Reed Thompson and Grant Phelps in at the linebacker positions for the Dragons now. 2nd down and 15 from the 22. Here's a play fake, and the pass near side with a flag down is caught. Huber over on the left side near the 20-yard line, twisted off his feet. He gets back near the original line of scrimmage. Down sails is one of the coverage, but now let's check this flag and see what it's about. Frank Wilcox said it's going to be holding against Flower Mound. Uzawie comes out as a receiver to the left side, so they empty the backfield. 5 in the pattern, going to be the quarterback draw straight ahead on 2nd and 26. And Jackson Averett gets knocked down after a gain of only 2 is Reed Thompson. No relation to Ryan, the injured Dragon defender, but Reed on the stop.
Yeah, the quarterback draw on 3rd and 26. I think back to the old Scooby-Doo cartoons where somebody comes up with the harebrained scheme and Shaggy says, "It's so crazy, it just might work." It didn't.
Well, it didn't. And actually, that was 2nd down. This will be 3rd and 24. They're 2 of 9 on 3rd down tries. Even more crazy?
It wasn't so crazy on 2nd down.
Okay. I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah.
That's right. It's kind of the way we all feel right now. From the 9-yard line. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right, snap it. Everett throws out, caught. Over near the right sidelines, beyond the 10, Billy Sikora is going to be brought down at the 11. It's a gain of 4. Grant Phelps on the tackle for the Dragons. It'll be punt time for Flower Mound.
So on 3 second-half possessions, Flower Mound has fumbled the ball in their territory. Jeter recovers that. Dragons punch it in. And then 2 consecutive 3-and-outs. So, the air really is kind of out of the balloon.
We've got a pair of safeties on each team with some injuries. Matt Greenwood, the safety for Flower Mound, has injured his shoulder. He is done for the game. We've seen Jake Murphy limp off the field after he scored that touchdown. He played a few series after that. He has not played the last 2 series for the Carroll's defense. I guess his evening is done. Hopefully his injury is not that serious.
Well, Travis, another one walked near you as you were doing your report there. Luke Jeter has just walked off with some assistance to the Dragons sideline. As punt time here for Josh Grant, who's going to kick it out to the 50. It's going to be fielded by R.J. Mickens with a fair catch, 38 yards. And we will take timeout. Dragons leading 42-7. 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. The Dragons with a new quarterback. Will Bowers, the sophomore, took 1 snap earlier in the quarter. Will have it to Robert Sledge. He'll go around the left end, and he will get about 5 yards down around the 45, and it will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So it was a good one for the Dragons to put 3 touchdowns on the board, and through 3, they lead it 42-7. We'll take timeout. 4th quarter coming your way. 4th quarter is set to start. Dragons on top 42-7 as they go from the 45-yard line in Flower Mound territory, looking at a 2nd and 5, and there's a whistle before the play starts, and that is usually a false start that will cost the Dragons 5 yards and mark it back to a 2nd and 10. 11 penalties, 95 yards now for the Dragons. As from the 50-yard line, they will hand it off to Robert Sledge, who tries to bounce it outside left, comes to the sidelines and is bumped out of bounds into the bench and through all the Flower Mound Jaguars. Gain of about 3 on the play, down to the 47. Deary on the tackle.
Running backs coach will tell you sometimes the best runs you make are only 2 or 3 yard gains. Sledge on that play was a perfect example of that. He got bottled up in the backfield, found his way out of the cluster, bounced it to the outside, took a couple of pretty big hits, and he only gained a yard, but that could have been a very big negative play, and he kept driving and kept the effort, and that's a nice job. 3 carries for 7 yards and a touchdown.
Evan Ober and Cade Long in that offensive line for the Dragons. A couple of backups, joining 3 of the regulars. As it'll scrimmage from the 49-yard line, 2nd down and 9 as they snap it to Will Bowers. He's going to air it out. Deep ball, left side, down around the 15, incomplete. Intended for Clayton Keys. Stop the clock with 11:24 to go here in quarter number 4. Dragons going to improve to 3-1 on the year.
And a nice way to start district play with the behemoth coming up a week away.
Yep.
You need a little momentum.
Yep. Big game with Trinity. That will be next Friday night. 7:30 will be the kickoff at Dragon Stadium. It's peak out night. You want to get your tickets very early for that one. They'll be selling them throughout the week. It's time to punt. That one actually bounced in on Cole Ramage, who scoops it up, puts the foot into it, and will kick it all the way down inside the 5. Ooh, takes a left turn. What a great kick as it is touchdown by Hayden Hayes at the 4-yard line. It is a 44-yard punt. They'll set it down at the 5. 11:14 to go, 4th quarter. Dragons on top 42-7. Out of the timeout, it was a 3-yard gain on 1st down for Uzawie, and then coming from the 8-yard line, they'll hand it off and go to the sidelines and bumped out as Uzawie up around the 10. Gain of a couple, bring up 3rd down and 5. At last tackle made by Grant Phelps. Dragons on top 42-7 here in the 4th quarter. It is an off week for the University of Texas Longhorns, and we're pleased to be joined on the sidelines by one Lil Jordan Humphrey. LJ, how are things going?
Things are going great.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about what you've experienced here. We'll interweave between the plays. 3rd down and 6 for Flower Mound from the 9-yard line as the quarterback, Jackson Averett, empties the backfield. They're 2 of 10 on 3rd down tries as Uzawihe comes out of the backfield, lines up in a twin set to the right. That's the short side of the field. Trips out to the left. That's the wide. Here's the snap to Averett. Has the ball. Throws over on the right side. Overthrows his intended receiver. Will bring up 4th down. He was looking for Huber. Little Jordan Humphrey with us down on the sidelines. So let's talk a little bit about what it's been like once you left Carroll and have joined that University of Texas program. What's it been like for you, big fella?
A lot of things have changed. Time management, had to learn how to find out time management, but everything's like, it's great down there, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Punt time about to come here for Flower Mound. Actually kicking out of the end zone is a new punter, Clayton Stewart, who is standing back about 5 yards deep as they snap it to Stewart, puts the foot into it, and that is kicking into the wind. That one is high, hangs up, taken at the 42-yard line. R.J. Mickens brings it back inside the 40, gets down to the 38, and bumps it out of bounds. 31 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. Visiting with a little Jordan Humphrey, former Carroll Dragon, now Texas Longhorn down on the sidelines. Getting in and becoming a part of Longhorn Nation and getting acclimated. What were some of the things that you had to do aside from the time management? I mean, was it a shocking thing, or was it coming from a great program like Carroll that you just kind of fit right in?
It was coming from a great program like Carroll. You just fit right in. The coaches prepared me well to be at the next level, and everything was so easy once I got there. Other than my time management, but everything else was it was real easy.
You know, one thing that is an issue for Texas high school players, they experience so many great moments playing high school ball at this level that sometimes when you go play college ball, it's a little bit of a letdown. So how about that opening week game against Notre Dame? Was that kind of mundane for you, or did you enjoy that experience?
I enjoyed that experience a lot. It was the best game I've ever been a part of, and just watching that had me real excited for college football and my career.
In your Carroll career, LJ, 4,943 total yards, according to our statistics, 59 touchdowns, and that's going to put you near the top in so many categories. In fact, just in Dragon Nation's memory of great running backs, you're going to be there with the Lunas, the Newtons, and so forth. But as you look back on your Carroll career, how did you remember that?
Awesome. It's just a great time to be around great people. Built a whole bunch of friendships with people, and I enjoyed it a lot.
It was a lot of fun watching you being utilized effectively as a running back and as a receiver. You showed capability in both areas. What are they doing with you down there?
I'm still playing receiver down there. Basically just trying to fit in, find out what I'm going to be. Right now I'm playing receiver, and I'm capable of changing whatever, but we're just going to see.
Will Bowers, the quarterback, kept that just a moment ago and scampered ahead for 7 yards, took a hard hit at the Flower Mound 46-yard line. The Dragons have a 2nd down and 3. Snap it to Bowers, put in the belly of the running back Sledge, and he will get ahead maybe a yard down to the around for the 40, let's see where I put it down, around the 46-yard line. That's where it is. Again, visiting with a little Jordan Humphrey on the sideline. LJ, we know you got to run, but a couple of quick questions here. How cool is it being at the University of Texas? I mean, is it all soaked in yet?
When I first got down there, it didn't really soak in until a couple weeks into it. But being there, you're just wow, I'm really here, I'm really doing it, and it's awesome.
What has been the biggest thing that you've kind of gotten Google-eyed about, where you're like, wow, this is really neat?
Everything, basically. Just walking on that field, and the first game we played against Notre Dame, walking on that field and seeing that crowd, the stands filled, it was wow, this is crazy.
What's it like seeing the Dragons play again? Does it kind of bring back those old memories?
Yeah, I definitely bring back some old memories. I'm kind of wishing I was out there, but Time to move on.
You sure you don't have any eligibility left?
I'm sure.
LJ, I appreciate you taking time. So kind here on Texas's Off Week. We wish you the best of luck. Even for me, an Oklahoma Sooner. You know we tease each other on Twitter, but I'm rooting for you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care. That's a little Jordan Humphrey, great running back in Dragon lore, and we appreciate him joining us down on the sidelines as the Dragons just punted that one away down to the Flower Mound 18, and that's where the Jaguars will have it 1st and 10.
Well, and great kid. Isn't it nice to see somebody from this program go and have the success that he's had and now have the opportunities that have presented themselves to him?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I bet he's going to be a big part of the Texas Arsenal coming up in the next few years. It's a program on the rise, no doubt about it. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Flower Mound from the 18.
It pains you to say that, too, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, hey, you got to call it the way you see
You're
it.
right, though. You are Charlie Strong's doing some stuff.
Yeah,
there.
just continue. Consider who my alma mater is and tell me which one's on the way up, which one's not. Here's a running play around the end for the quarterback, Jackson Avery. He'll get out across the 20 out to the 25-yard line. Got about 8 yards on the play.
Might I remind you, my alma mater, the University of Kansas, had to schedule Rhode Island to get a win. So it's all relative, Charles.
It very much is. The ball at the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 2 as Josh Vieira in the ball game at a running back position as they start a man emotional pitch sweep, a little jet sweep around the end as Ryan Johnson will get knocked down right at the line of scrimmage as he had his feet taken out from under him by Gavin Harrison, the senior defensive back who came up, put the hit on him. One of the Dragons going to have to exit stage right.
Mason Vlander, he lost his hat.
Yep, lost his headgear, and he is going to go to the sideline for one play. Dragons have a lot of reserves in defensively. 42-7, Carroll on top, 7:50 in the clock running here in the 4th quarter. Flower Mound has not been good on 3rd downs, converted only twice in 11 tries. Right now they've got a 3rd down and about 4 from the 26-yard line. Miller goes in motion from right to left. Snap to Averett, and he's going to keep it running play around the left end. Turns the corner at the 35, running to the left sidelines. Has the 1st down as he's bumped out of bounds up around the 29-yard line. Give him 5 yards on the play. They'll stop the clock with 7:30 to go here in quarter number 4 as David Spitler, Eric's brother, made the stop.
And Flower Mound leaving for the most part, their starters in. You want to do a little something, build a little momentum going to next week's game against Byron Nelson. Give your offense a chance to execute with decidedly less pressure. See what they can do.
They're going to do the zone read on 1st down and 10. Put it in the belly. Big running room goes Vieira. He gets across the 40 to the 45, and he's finally down at the 46-yard line, but not before a gain of 18 yards on the play. It'll bring up 1st down and 10. As a tackle made by Hayden Hayes from that left quarterback position.
And it's good for Vieira to get an opportunity to get a little work. He played quite a bit against Timber Creek a couple weeks ago and showed some real flashes, and he looked really nice on that run, going left to right and making a nice cut downfield to pick up some yardage.
On 1st and 10 from the 46, they'll give it to Vieira, and he gets hit after a gain of a couple. Boy, that was Phelps and Reed Thompson who really punished him there as the Dragons on defense, making some adjustments. Started to run somebody off, and then right back in came Colton Maglier. There at the defensive line position.
You know, and it's just the eyeball test. We don't have the measurables here, but you watch Maglier run in there, reserve, and that's a good big body. Carroll has got more size down on the defensive front than we have seen out of this team in quite a while.
Indeed. Here is the handoff going to Vieira, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage for no gain on
Michael
play.
Larkin, nice tackle, knifing into the backfield and making the grab as he runs by. That was a good athletic play.
Michael, in case you're wondering, checking in 6'1", 225.
Which, you know, is not the size of, say, Eric Curl, some of these big guys on the offensive front for Flower Mound, but that's not small. That's good size for a high school D lineman.
For sure. 3rd down and 8 from the 48-yard line. Again, it's been a rough time on 3rd downs for Flower Mound as they empty the backfield as Vieira comes out to set up trips to the right side. Here's the snap to the quarterback, Averett, and he throws over on the right side to the 40-yard line, and it's incomplete. It was intended there for Jake Welps, the sophomore, but Hayden Hayes was there on the coverage.
So the Carroll defensive reserves acquitting themselves nicely. Once again, a punting situation for Flower Mound, and the Dragons will get it back. And you have to think they're just going to take the air out of this and see how much clock they can kill efficiently.
You know how that is when they go in the run it down as far as they can on the play clock.
And that usually yields just radio gold because there's not much for us to say while we wait for the snap.
Clayton Stewart, standing back at his 35, takes the snap, puts the right foot into it, kicks it into the breeze, and not Ray Mickens, that's Dad. He's too old to play. It's R.J. Mickens.
He definitely has no eligibility left.
And it will be a 38-yard punt, and the Dragons will have it with a 42-7 lead here in the fourth quarter. Quarterback for the Dragons, Will Bowers, calling first down and 10 from the 15. It'll be a straight running play to Sledge, and we'll go straight ahead for a couple of yards. First down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Clock running at 5 minutes to go in the game. Sledge with the game of 2 made it second down and 8. Snap it to Bowers, give it to Sledge, and he will have maybe a couple more as he gets out to the 18-yard line. And David Lawrence on the stop.
So again, Carroll not showing a real sense of urgency at this point, just kind of taking their time, bringing that clock down as much as they can. Mound putting in, looks like a few of their defensive reserves, but they have still got a lot of the frontline players out there.
The Dragons are 3 of 9 on third down tries. They like Flower Mound not being very good tonight, third down opportunities. As it's third down and 6 at the 18-yard line. Snap it to Bowers, wants to run right, has a block, looks for a hole as he crosses the 20, gets to the 25, and it's good for a first down. 7 yards for Will Bowers, the sophomore, as Davis Frondorf on the tackle move those chains and keep the clock running.
And I think if you told Coach Brian Basil that at a point in the fourth quarter his team would have held Carroll to 3 of 9 on third down conversions, he probably would have been pretty happy with that. But obviously, that matters decidedly less than the two large numbers on the scoreboard.
Yep, this is the best point output, combining two words there, point output on the year for the Dragons. 42, previous 38 against Martin. 30 last week again, or 2 weeks ago against Rockwalls. They snap it to Bowers and they'll hand it off to Sledge. Immediately, he is pile drive down to the ground by a couple of the Jaguars, gained a yard on the play. As Lawrence and Waters in there on the tackle. Well, again, the Dragons are going to improve to 3-1 on the year. Flower Mound drops to 1-3. Next week, the 6:30 airtime at Dragon Stadium. It's pink out night as the Dragons and the Trinity Trojans get set to renew their friendly rivalry.
So for pink out, I'm thinking of maybe going and getting a Craig Sager suit. Should I do that?
I think that would be very tasteful. Second down and 9 from the 26-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go in the football game. Dragons up by 35. Two backs in the backfield. Snap it to Bowers. Straight running play right. Looking for a block. Gets across the 25. Gets out to the 28. Gain of a couple on the play. Actually, wait a minute now. Clayton Webb is in at quarterback. So correct what I just said. That is Webb, the junior.
Seeing his first varsity action. I'm trying to get a look at him down there.
Well, let's see. Down to 2:48. Clock is stopped momentarily. Let's see what this is about. Officials are
marching something off. Looks like a penalty.
It was a dead ball, personal foul against Carroll.
12 penalties, 110 yards. It'll be interesting to get the reaction of the coaching staff to that. That would be the one thing marring an otherwise impressive effort tonight.
I wonder when the last time that they had those numbers. We'll have to check our handy-dandy stat sheet to find out exactly when it was. The Dragons with Tavian Gould in the backfield as well, along with Webb, who is in at quarterback. So we had 19 sneak in ahead of 14. So Bauer saw some time. Webb sees some time. Waiting on the snap and puts it in the belly of the running back. And coming near side is Sledge. And Robert Sledge is bumped out of bounds at the 17. Not what the Dragons wanted in a 42-7 game as he's run out of bounds with 2:22 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The Dragons got to punt this one away.
Well, to his credit, I think he was looking for an opportunity to cut it upfield. He just never really found anything. They did a nice job stringing that one out, Flower Mound defense.
Dragons got to punt it. As Cole Ramage standing back inside his 5. Put the foot into it. Clock running 2:20 to go here in the 4th. Kind of an end-over-end punt. That's interesting. Fielded the fair catch at the Flower Mound 41-yard line. It'll be a 42-yard punt as Deary hauled it in. Jaguars will have it there. 2:15 remaining. Dragons up 42-7 as the handoff on first down and 10 goes to Josh Vieira, and he'll skip out for about 4 yards out beyond the 45-yard line as Flower Mound. A few plays here late. Tackle made just a moment ago by Gunnar Autry, senior defensive back on the tackle. Landon Sadler is now in at quarterback for Flower Mound. So Everett getting the rest of the night off. Sadler is in. Here's the snap. And the pass come near side. There's a flag thrown. Going to be interference. One of the Dragons got in a little bit quick on the intended receiver, who is Nathaniel Yu, but hit there by Joseph DeVincenzo. So that will probably cost the Dragons a little more penalty yardage right there. There's Sadler throwing over the right side on first down and 10. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10. As the quarterback, Sadler, a little pump fake, got one of the Dragons up in the air and got around him, ran right to the sidelines. Goes out of bounds around the Dragon 47. Gain of a yard on the play. And we got 1:34 to go here in the 4th quarter. Here's the pass over the middle, and it is incomplete from Landon Sadler. Just kind of throwing it downfield to bring up 4th down and 10.
And we have about 2 minutes of clock time that is going to take an absolute eternity.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be a punt. The Dragons can run the ball twice, and this game will be over. In fact, looks like a lot of the crowd already from Southlake heading back toward Tarrant County. As the high, deep punt going to be fielded. Nope, going to be let go by R.J. Mickens. That was a good move as it goes into the end zone. Oh, he did catch it. Oh, beg your pardon.
He caught it on the 1.
He did catch it.
So the victory formation
2.
is not an option at this point unless you want to give them 2 points.
Well, that's true. Well, fair catch. He's a freshman. He'll learn.
It's all right.
He's actually had a good game tonight.
He really has played very well out there. Heads up. He's had some nice hits. He's done a good job tackling. He doesn't look lost out there. That's a 15-year-old kid playing big school football here in the state of Texas, and he's right at home.
Not that surprising, understanding that Pops, with all his NFL experience, Ray Mickens. And of course, we saw another NFL progeny with Crockett.
Yep.
In the ball game.
And it was just a couple, 3 short years ago, we were seeing the early stages of the career of one Robert Barnes. We've been treated to some pretty good football here.
Yep. Wade Stapp is in the game now at quarterback for the Dragons. They're going to run their 4th quarterback in the game, and they're going to hand it off, and a running play gets from the 2-yard line maybe to the 3. Tavian Gould is who carries the football for maybe a half yard on the play.
As we go down under a minute,
Carroll
will have to stop it maybe probably one more time.
Yeah, maybe give him a yard. We are under a minute to go, so the Dragons will have to snap the football one more time, maybe 2, depending on how many seconds get off the clock. It's going to be close. Yeah, they will. Just have to run one more. We're down to 13 on the play clock, 42 on the game clock. Carroll on top, 42-7. They're going to win this one to go to 3-1 on the year. Is waiting on the snap, and they will hand it off. And surging ahead, Tavian Gould gets out across the 5. He'll get out near the 10-yard line. Gain of about 8 yards on the play, and that should be the final one of this contest. As we're under 20 seconds to go in the 4th quarter, and the Carroll Dragons have come into Flower Mound, and despite having so many injured players, not only coming into the game, but also adding some nicks and bruises tonight, they will get out of here with the win. That's the bottom line. Final score, Carroll 42, and Flower Mound 7.